Good day, everyone. Happy Sunday, actually. It is June the 8th of 2025 at 7:16 a.m. in the communist shithole known as Ontario, Canada. And one of my last videos I did, I got two comments right off the bat. I'm in the communist shithole known as Australia. Another person said, I'm in the communist shithole we call Europe. So yeah, other people are feeling the same sentiment. They realize their homeland is turning into a communist shithole. It's not good news, not at all. I don't think we can stop it. I honestly don't. And this video is going to give you some information about why we can't stop it. Social engineering, Psyops, depopulation agendas, and bullshit wildfires. So, Psyops. Well, basically, everything is a Psyop. Every last thing. There's nothing you're watching that's real. Technocrats, social engineers, treat the world like a board game. They honestly do. That's what you're in. You're part of a board game. You're actually part of The Sims. That's what you're part of. And they think of you as something that can be manipulated and engineered, molded into thinking in certain ways, into believing certain things, into supporting certain things. They use guilt if they want you to, that's why people virtue signal, because they don't want to feel guilt and they want to look good to everybody. Look, I'm a virtuous person. Look what I do. Look what I do. Like people when the old coof hit, what were they doing? Putting a mask on and taking a picture and posting it on their Facebook. Look at me. I'm wearing my mask. I'm a good little citizen. It's not what that means, actually. See somebody doing that? Does not spell good citizen. No. Here in Canada, we had a couple of really wild psyops that just blew people away. But still, these people realize, a lot of them now, that these were psyops. Doesn't even fizz them. They still believe what these people say that did the psyop on them. The military, there's two I'm going to mention here. They're just unbelievably evil. One of them was putting the loudspeakers, hiding them in the woods, and pumping out the sound of wolves howling in a residential place. There's some woods nearby, but pretty close to houses. Then they put out something in the news to say that there was wolves and people should stay in their homes and, don't leave your children unattended. The wolves will get them, and to terrify everybody. Turned out these wolves people were hearing, loudspeakers in the woods, but they're by the military. That's your own military doing that to you. That's your own military doing that to you. Do you have any trust or faith in them anymore? You shouldn't after that. Why are they doing that? That I never really understood what the point of that was, but that is what they did, honestly. Another one, there was actually a general in our military at the beginning of COVID who, when he found out about this, he lost his mind. He was really mad. So we do have one general, or we did back then anyway, who we obviously can trust. But it was propaganda being put out by the military and stuff, and intelligence agency. We have CSIS, it's called. It's one of the Five Eyes nations, so it's part of the CIA, basically. It's the same thing. And all this propaganda to scare people about COVID and to manipulate their thinking and to lie, like to literally lie about everything. And this general got wind of it. He's like, you can't be lying to the people like that. You can't use the military to twist everybody's thinking. Like, that's just, he lost it. He got really mad. So they had to cancel that PSYOP. Turned out China was influeing that, of course. Because all these Psyops and stuff that happen here in Canada, in the communist shithole that, as I call it, China's got their fingers in every bit of it. Wildfires. This is one that should be terrifying to everybody. They're using them for land grabs. Okay, and first thing you'll notice, wildfires occur more often in places that go against the federal government. Okay, in Ontario, in Canada, Saskatchewan is the latest place to start giving the federal government trouble and wants to separate and this and that like Alberta does. Well, wouldn't you know it, Saskatchewan gets hit with wildfires all of a sudden. Isn't that a coincidence? Isn't that a coincidence? There's no such thing as a coincidence. There's no such thing. These wildfires, as I've mentioned in other videos, but I haven't really gone into it much, they have something called HAARP. HAARP, and I don't remember what it stands for, but it's I think it's up in Alaska, and it heats up. It's basically Nikola Tesla type technology. That's where they got the idea for it. Was his work, and it heats up the ionosphere. Now they got all these bullshit reasons why they're using this thing, what they're doing with it. It's all just lies. Because everything they tell you is indeed a lie. Every last thing. They heat up the ionosphere, and then with a mixture of cloud seeding, and they have a way to whip up hurricanes, literally. I've seen the diagrams and everything of the machines that they use to whip up hurricanes. They literally can make one. And then they can steer it any way they want. Okay? So a mixture of all these things, they whip up some wind, and there's cloud seeding involved, and heating up the ionosphere with HAARP. And there was a guy on Redacted very, very recently. He's a geoengineering watchdog, basically, who really knows this stuff. He knows all the technology. He knows exactly how it works. And they've filmed the planes doing their thing. They've got film of it. So they can't deny this stuff, and now they're not so much. They've been caught, so they're kind of admitting it now. They heat up the ionosphere and get this wind tunneling through. Of course, they got somebody they pay. I'll just hire an Antifa guy to go in there and start the fire. Some of them get caught because they're not very bright. They start the fire at a certain time of day, or they have power lines drop, and then they can say that started it or whatever. But it's really amazing. Every time these fires happen, this wind comes right along with it. And the wind, not only the wind, but the fact that they've already sprayed that area with aluminum, barium, strontium, and several other things that are accelerants. Well, wouldn't you know it, then we got a wildfire, which doesn't exist. There's no such thing. Does anybody find it interesting that we never had those before, but now all of a sudden we have wildfires? Used to be just regular fires. Now they're all wildfires, and they all happen during windstorms, and they all destroy pieces of land where people are living that the government wants to do something different with. Smart cities. That's what they're doing that for. So the whole wildfire thing, climate change and all, it's all a lie. Every last bit of it. Every last bit. Here's what I want to mention about climate change. I had a student who was studying geology in Queen's University here. And this was he was a real smart guy in many ways. He was actually a veterinarian. But he told me one day, he's like, what's going on about this climate change? He said, they're teaching us in our course. He's like, you can't even understand climate change or anything like that unless you take a 10,000-year period. Okay? Changes occur over long periods of time. They're looking at the last 100 years and saying this is the case with 100 years of data. And it's made up data to begin with. So, again, all a freaking lie. He said the professor there he was a real smart guy too, and he was just laughing at the whole thing. He's like, 100 years of data. It's going to tell you all that, is it? It's so ludicrous. He says, a good thing the people of the world are not informed, because nobody would believe that if they had any idea. It's ridiculous. It's not even a believable lie. It's stupid. Totally stupid. Depopulation agendas. Planned Parenthood and the eugenics crowd. If you don't know what eugenics is, that's the most evil thing on the earth. That's Adolf Hitler stuff. That is what Adolf Hitler believed in: purifying the race, purifying the genetics. And you'll get rid of all these undesirable traits in people because you're going to purify them with good genes, Aryan genes. That's genetics. Eugenics. That's really what it is. And the eugenics crew, they used to have a panel that they bring, and it's black people they really hate. There's no question about that. People of Africa, they want to get rid of all of them. They want to get rid of every one of them. They're the ones who start these racism psyops and stuff to get everybody scared of being a racist and stuff. But they themselves hate all black people. These are white supremacists. That's exactly what they are. And they'd have a panel, and they'd bring black people in front of the panel. This is back in the Margaret Sanger days, if you've ever heard of her. She was a total witch, just an awful, evil, evil woman. And they'd bring the black person in front of the panel, and the panel would look at them, and they'd just basically go by the look of them. Maybe ask them a couple questions, and then start checking off boxes. This one is likely to be an alcoholic. Looks pretty feeble-minded to me. Probably going to have children that are going to be alcoholics too, and just keep checking off these boxes. And then they say, okay, yep, go sterilize that one. Or if the woman was, it was usually women, but they did this to men too. But if the woman was already pregnant, they'd be like, yeah, abort that and sterilize her, make sure she doesn't do that again. These are the eugenics crew, okay? They have disguised themselves as Planned Parenthood, and they want a nice, lovely life for you, and they want you to bring up your children properly. And no, they don't. No, they don't. They don't want you to have children at all. In the beginning of Brave New World, the book by Aldous Huxley, the very first thing they're doing is checking out the test tube babies, basically. They control and govern all births in their dystopian future. We're actually getting there now. The pokey poke. Isn't it a coincidence that all of a sudden, just like I said was going to be, birth rates declining like crazy. Women with fertility issues, men with fertility issues. Well, isn't that interesting? Right at the time when everybody got pokey poked with that crap. It's all a lie. Everything is a lie. Let me repeat that one more time. Everything is a lie. Not most things. Not some things. Everything. The news does not exist to inform you. It exists to mold and deceive you and distract you. We got Elon Musk and Donald Trump having a scrap right now. Did anybody notice that Elon Musk doesn't act like that? The other day he's like, Donald J. Trump is in the Epstein files. That's why they're not being released. Have a nice day, DJT. Like a schoolyard child. That's not Elon Musk's persona. That's not the way he acts. He's never acted like that ever before. All of a sudden he went crazy. It's a fake feud. What they were doing, they wanted the Democrats to demand release of the Epstein files. So as soon as the Democrats got wind of Donald Trump's in them, release the Epstein files. That's what the psyop on them was for, but they're not too bright and they can't figure that out. So now they're screaming, release the files, release the files. It's exactly what Donald Trump and Elon, they're not really fighting. They sat back in a room like, how can we get them to demand those files be released? Let's pretend we're fighting. Let's pretend I'm accusing you of being in those files. It's all another lie. And the problem is, The problem could end today. Okay? Do you think I believe a single thing that they say? If everybody would just do that, stop believing Operation Mockingbird news. Operation Mockingbird, I think that was in the 60s or 70s, somewhere in the 70s. It's a CIA operation where they start molding the news to deceive everybody, called Operation Mockingbird. They claim they stopped it. They didn't stop it. They told you they stopped it. That's a lie, too. You can't find something that isn't a lie. Can't find a single thing that isn't a lie. The politicians claiming they support LGBTQ plus CIA stuff, they don't give a shit about those people. Not a single one of them cares about those people. They are rich, elite. They're in the club, as George Carlin said, and that you ain't in. You really think they'd care about the average gay dude out there? Lesbian? Oh. When will people stop believing all the just total bull that's out there? It's daily. It's just shoveled into your faces. And it will keep going that way until you all stop believing it. It's all a lie. Every last thing.